Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming at you again with another vid. I assume that most of you have received the news about an hour ago that Deontay Wilder's next defense will be another voluntary, which was granted by the WBC, which makes it his fourth consecutive voluntary defense, and that will take place in Birmingham, Alabama, on July 16th at the Legacy Arena. And more likely, it is confirmed to be Chris Arreola, as many of us have speculated over the last uh, week and a half or so, 2 weeks or so. And I've expressed my concerns about this in one of my prior videos that I am not in favor of Deontay Wilder fighting Chris Arreola for numerous reasons. One, Arreola is just coming off from suspension. Okay. Two, he hasn't looked very, very convincing in his last three fights. Okay, let's go back to the Chris Harper fight. Yeah, that was probably his least commendable performance, even though that fight was fought to a draw. But it was a slugfest. But the fight after that, he had against Fred Cassie, and he performed terribly to the point that he was awarded a draw. And he even, to his own admission, had said that after that fight, that he didn't deserve a shot at Deontay Wilder because he was in line to get a shot with him then. But based off that performance, he kind of withdrew himself from that, from a long list of candidates due to that performance, which I have to commend him for. So, and then the third fight, his recent fight, it was against Travis Kaufman, and I thought he lost that fight, and he was awarded a split decision over Kaufman. Okay, and apparently after that fight, he tested positive for marijuana, and he was given a ban. So, yeah, and another thing I must add though, Arreola has also had his opportunities. All right. And shout out to Mr. Boxing today because he and I actually had a discussion about this, about Arreola, be given opportunities and he's failed. And it's the obvious. Let's look at it. He did get a shot at Vitaly Klitschko in '09, got battered. He got a shot against Stavern in an eliminator, got battered. Okay, and then he got a shot against Stavern in a title fight, vacant title fight, and got destroyed. So he's already had his opportunities. Now, like Mr. Boxer today said, I'm not against a man who's had opportunities after opportunities after opportunities. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve a shot. What I'm saying is that he's serving his suspension. He needs to get back in line and fight his way to the rankings just like every other heavyweight contender has done. Gerald Washington has done that. He's fought his way to the top, to the top 15 rankings of the WBC. Okay. You have guys like Kubrat Pulev, who's rebound after the Klitschko loss. Okay, you have Joseph Parker in there. You have Carlos Takam in there. They've all fought legitimate contenders to earn their rankings. But Joseph Parker and Carlos Takam just recently fought, and Parker will be scheduled to fight Suleiman Hamano his upcoming bout, whatnot. But to me, again, this is disappointing, and Wilder shouldn't be fighting opposition like Chris Arreola. Don't get me wrong, Chris Arreola may still have something left in his tank, but he just really, really passed his prime. He really doesn't have it what it takes anymore. And let's be honest, I'm going to be candid and honest here, okay? I know some of you guys will argue that, well, this is kind of last minute given the whole Kvechkin situation. So this voluntary, Wilder should get a little leniency over this voluntary defense. Okay, so be it, but my thing is, why Chris Arreola? I mean, he hasn't really fought to even deserve this shot. I'm just being honest here. I mean, looking at the rankings, I mean, I would have rather see Deontay Wilder fight Kubrat Pulev because that's a fight that he needs because that's a legitimate top 10 fighter on the heavyweight list, or Luis Ortiz. I know someone say, well, Luis Ortiz is tied up with Alexander Ustinov. Well, that may be true, but it was Wilder's camp who actually reached out to Ustinov's camp and offered him a fight. So if you're going to reach out to Ustinov, try to pull him away from the Ortiz fight, then Deontay Wilder's camp could have done the same thing. They could have lured Ortiz in, and believe me, Ortiz would have gladly took the shot. He would gladly have taken that shot against Wilder, and that's a fight that would have definitely made up for the Kvechkin disaster. So that's not going to happen. Anthony Joshua is tied up with Dominic Brazil. Urquitep is still ranked, man. He's serving suspension. Wow. I mean, same thing with Lucas Brown. But, I mean, looking at the list, Antonio Tarver. Hell, Antonio Tarver. I'd rather tolerate that fight Antonio Tarver, Amir Mansour, but as I mentioned in one of my initial videos, Amir Mansour, I think he deserves a shot at Wilder, but not for the title. I've already said my opinion on that. No need to go further on that. Or Jarrell Big Baby Miller. I'd rather see Deontay Wilder fight him because Big Baby Miller's called out Deontay Wilder twice. And I know he had a fight recently in Niagara Falls, but he didn't take damage in that fight. So if Wilder's camp had contacted Jarrell Big Baby Miller, I believe me, I think he'll gladly have taken that fight. Gladly have taken it. And I think that Big Baby Miller would lose that fight. I'm just being honest. I like the guy, but I think he would lose. But, I'd rather see him fight Deontay Wilder. And I think it'd be a competitive fight. But other than that, yeah, this Chris Arreola news is very disappointing. I'm not happy about this. But needless to say, it is what it is. It is set up for July 16th at Birmingham, Alabama at the Legacy Arena. So, yeah. Now, as far as that Povetkin situation is concerned, I'm going to touch up on that just a little bit. Now, it was initially reported that the WBC will come to a final ruling within the next few days. Well, that few days actually passed when it was reported, so now they've actually came back out a day later. I think it was 2 days ago or a day ago, and they've stated that they will announce a ruling by the end of this month. So, apparently the investigation has been prolonged. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh man. Well, I mean, again, what can you do? Yeah, Deontay. I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, I'd rather see him fight there's other guys who legitimate contenders other than Chris Arreola. I'm just being honest. Hell, David Haye. I think David Haye deserves a shot. More than Chris Arreola, if you ask me. If you think about it, even though I don't think Haye deserves a shot at anybody based off his level of opposition that he's fought. But given the circumstances, I think he's more rewarding than Chris Arreola. All right? Hell, should get Andy Ruiz Jr., even though he just fought, but he didn't take hardly take any damage against Ray Austin. So that could be a fight that could have been made. It's just anybody but Chris Arreola. I'm sorry I have to echo the sentiments of Fight Critic. Anybody but Chris Arreola, man. He does not deserve a shot at all. I just think that I have to reiterate, he needs to fight his way back into the rankings just like every other fighter has. So, I mean, that's just my take on this, guys. I'm going to leave a link to the article below. You come to your own conclusions. Care to comment, share, subscribe. Signing off. Peace.